Market. Well, in Grenada, when we say small farmers in Grenada, you're talking about farmers perhaps with under 5 acres of land, under 10 acres of land. Some people might just laugh. They say everybody in Grenada is small farmers. But in small countries, you have big farmers. So we walk away from the word micro because some people, but we're talking about small farmers leveraging the tourist market. Whether we like it or not, we could beat with chest and say agriculture is the backbone of the country. But the government and the economy depend heavily on the tourist market. We must know that. St. George's University contribute more than 20% to the GDP. Remuneration with people in the diaspora, sending back money and things to us, is a very important factor.
I think that's about
7%. 7%. And the tourist market is very significant. So we're asking small farmers leveraging the tourist market. And as usual, we have with us Joshua. Joshua, small farmers leveraging the tourist market in Grenada.
Yeah, I think sometimes what we have is that some important part of agriculture is missing out. So good morning to everybody in the diaspora, at home, worldwide. This is a very important subject because what we're looking for is inclusivity. How do we include the small farmers so that they can leverage the tourism industry as well? Sometimes what we have is the big hotels, and people come, they go on the beach or wherever the hotels is, and the hotel basically, is the main beneficiary, and the local market, like people in St. Mark's, well, we don't have no big hotel. I know there's one or two little hotels in St. Mark's, but they also give a unique perspective in terms of tourism, and essentially the small farmers are all over Grenada, and so we have to find a way creatively to see how we can kind of include them in, how they can leverage the tourism industry as well. Because as we continue to say on the program, there's nobody who's coming on a big white horse with a sword and, a cloak to save us. So we have our cutlass. So we have to use that to save ourselves as we move forward in terms of getting that inclusivity. And there's probably many people out there with good ideas in terms of how do we do that, and we'd like to hear from you. Mr. Pierre, always, it's 410 30 30.
Yeah, 410 30 30.
Yeah.
So you give us a call, and even on the social media,
Yeah.
we will read your posts, read
Yeah.
your suggestions, and etc.
Yeah.
We say leveraging. We mean how you go benefit.
Yes.
How does a small farmer in Ticolo, a Kumande, a Hopeville, how do you make money from the tourist market?
Yes, that is very important. But Mr. Pierre, I just want to interject just a little for about 1 minute. We've had the second tranche of support for farmers being given out, I think, on Thursday and Friday. So I'm hoping that farmers are able to access that second tranche of income support so that they can kind of have some resources to leverage the tourism market. Very important. I listened to the minister, and he said that there's no closing date. As long as you've been affected, just go into the local extension office and give your details. So farmers don't feel as though you've been neglected and you're too late and all the rest of it. Go and make some noise and make sure you're included.
That is a very important piece of information, because I was speaking to a farmer this morning, and the farmer say that it's too late.
No.
So we want to inform the farmers in Grenada, you're not late.
You're not late.
Go in the agriculture office, provide the information, the basic information as I understand it. You must have a farmer's identification card. If you don't have one, the agriculture office is going to start the process for you.
Yeah.
You must have an account number for the bank.
Or you could get a check. They'll give you a check.
Well, whatever. But have an account number. So I think that's the three bases. And
Yeah.
your NIS.
Yeah, yeah.
ID.
And usually, if you're a farmer, your extension officer knows you, because I spoke to mine yesterday, and I went to St. George's to update my farmer's ID, and the lady wasn't there. They said she went out in the field. So I called my local extension officer, and she said, "Josh, what's wrong with you? You don't know things change. You have to come to me now. I have to
Yeah,
verify
you
you."
don't have to go to you have to go to the extension office.
So she said she has to verify me. I don't know how she
So
got
the
that.
question is, how do a small farmer
Mhm,
living in Paraclete, a
mhm,
Hopeville, a Brudge Grove,
mhm,
Mama Can,
mhm,
Rose Hill,
mhm,
how do you benefit from the tourist market?
mhm,
You have to sit down. Many of you have children, you say that going to school that bright,
mhm.
and sit down and start to hold discussion.
Yeah.
We are living in Monong.
Mhm,
How does the people from Monong
mhm,
benefit from the tourist market? You sit down, determine what could you do in your land
mhm.
that could attract tourists to come to the land.
Yeah.
Monong have water, you have waterway, etc.
Yeah.
Sometimes 8, 9 farmers have to come together.
Mhm,
Just by tourists coming through, some
mhm.
people may sell them water nut.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
people who sell water nut,
Mhm,
although the idea wasn't theirs,
mhm,
the initiative wasn't theirs,
mhm,
but no place remain a vacuum.
mhm.
Vacuum is a good word.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
money to be made.
Yeah.
When money to be made, ideas come out.
Yeah.
We have to, the small farmer,
Yeah.
have to constantly asking themselves, how do I make money from the tourist market? How do I reach the market? How do I leverage the market? How do I attract tourists to
Yeah.
come in Milan and give me some money?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes we're looking for something big and something unique, and what we have to make the money is right in front of us. As you were talking, Mr. Pierre, I recently were looking for sorrel, and they directed me to Rose Hill area, and lo and behold, there's about 10 or 12 sorrel farmer in that locality there. And I went, they gave me a name of a farmer in terms of sorrel. And they call him John Wayne. And I smiled when they told me, look for John Wayne. I found John Wayne, and I saw him under a tree in his farm, and he was cleaning sorrel. And he had a whole, maybe 3 or 4 acres of sorrel there. He said that Beryl had hurt him, but Beryl didn't finish him off. Now, something like that, you may not believe it, but tourists, who live in cities, etc., they may never have seen a sorrel field. They may never have seen how sorrel the drink is made. And that is a personal experience that we could sell to the tourist market. You can guide them to actually clean the sorrel, make the sorrel, and enjoy the drink of the sorrel. And we sometimes don't understand how unique these things are, because I went to school in a big city, a city of about 10 million people. I never saw any farms or anything like that. And, we were on the news once because the camera came into the classroom, and it asked us, where does milk come from? And we told them where the milk come from. The milk comes from the supermarket. We never for 1 minute know that or thought that, well, milk come from the cow. you know as far as we know, it comes from the supermarket in a nice box. That's where we get milk. So, city people being able to visit farms and see how farms work gives you a deep and unique understanding, of the origins of food, just as Mr. Pierre was saying, like the coconut. The coconut water is so beautiful. I'm told it has this thing in it that it's good for you. I'm forgetting the name now. but electrolytes. It has a lot of electrolytes in it, which kind of boost you up and is very good for you. And being able to go on a farm and seeing the small planting of coconut trees, the medium-sized ones, and the tall ones. So even seeing the dwarf ones and being able to pick for yourself and cut it for yourself and actually enjoy the drink in terms of the water nut. And as we develop these things, as in places like Thailand and the Far East, they have tools that make the work so simple in terms of cutting a coconut or peeling a coconut, or even the way that they climb the tall trees. I know Grenada is moving towards the dwarf coconut, which I personally like. It's easy to pick. You could get a cocoa rod and just pick them on the ground yourself. You don't need to send a climber up. And on the farm, you might have coconut, you might have yams, you might have dashing. You're forgetting that people have never dug a yam up in their life. They don't even know where the yam come from. And because our farms are small, they're homely, and that's what people want. Tourists want that homely feel, that human contact. Sometimes farms are so big in the United States or in South America, it's as though they lack any soul. But in Grenada, we have that uniqueness in terms of our farms. They tend to be 2 or 3 acres, sometimes five. We might be lucky if you have a 10-acre lot. You might kind of consider yourself lucky, as though you have real asset to make real money on your 10 acres. But we don't have that many 200 acres, 500 acres. And the people who have those type of acreage often are people from Europe. The descendants are from Europe and they've remained in the Caribbean and they have that kind of asset and that lifestyle. But most of them, as far as I can see, they want to use their land to build hotels. A lot of them have land on the coast and they want to build hotels and housing on that. They're not really interested in farming. A lot of the farms, they have this romantic way of thinking about farming whereby you have a hotel and you grow everything next to the hotel. You grow all your seasonings from the farm and you grow your banana, your plantain, yams, dashin, etc. And you get everything on the plot. But you can't beat the uniqueness of the 2-acre farmer or 5-acre farmer who's growing a range of crops on his farm and in many ways making products from it. So you might go to a ginger farmer and the ginger farmer will make ginger beer, and you might also with your ginger beer, you might have the farmer making a little oil down on the farm as well. So you'll get a fresh lunch or you'll get a fresh
Just
salad.
the aroma. As you
Yeah.
say, ginger, just
Mhm.
the aroma.
Yeah.
Imagine a man have 5 acres of land and he have 2 acres of ginger.
Uh-huh.
But in addition to that, he could show you how you could use the ginger.
Yeah.
You could touch the ginger. You
Yeah.
could rub the ginger on cane. You
Hmm.
have some cane, so when you peel the cane, you rub the ginger on cane and then you suck the cane. What
Yeah.
a beautiful experience.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
people would pay
Yeah.
for that.
They'd pay for that and they'll buy the products to take back with them as well, and they'll have a unique experience they pass on to their children. So you're creating a market there, so it will be generational market that you're creating.
So what we need to do is to get our farmers to start to think,
Uh-huh.
you know?
Yeah.
Think, just think.
Hmm.
How do I make money from a farm?
Yeah.
Forget about government now.
Yeah.
Forget about bank. Forget about credit union.
Mm-hmm.
You have the land. Grenada have more land owners than perhaps any country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, we have more land owners than any country in the region.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I say that, I always like to feel good and say, remember Uncle Gary.
Yeah,
Michael Baptiste agreed with me on that too.
and I agree with
For
you.
the landless program.
Yeah, no, I agree with you as well.
So now, if you
This
have
is radical.
5 acres of land
Mm-hmm.
or 3 acres of land, you have your wife,
Uh-huh.
you have children,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes that help your relationship to last.
Mm-hmm.
Because idleness has caused a lot of relationships to break up
Yeah.
and lack of productivity.
Yeah.
But the children know you have the ginger farm. You could plant 1/4 acre in pine,
Mm-hmm.
and you could have a few sheep, not
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Because the sheep don't likely to eat the ginger.
Mm-hmm.
They're not likely to eat the pine.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to fertilize both.
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't have to weed.
Mm-hmm.
And then your daughter that says she's doing F&N,
Mm-hmm.
where she's doing learning to cook. Right now, she could incorporate what she learned in the school with the ginger.
Mm-hmm.
And then your son that say doing IT,
Mm-hmm.
he could make a website for you or whatever, so he could attract
Mm-hmm.
tourists. When tourists come to your farm, come to Grenada, you could say you could visit my farm for 1 day.
Yeah.
You have to pay me 10 US. You visit my farm, you put a next package.
Yeah.
When you go inside there, you're selling ginger juice.
Mm-hmm.
They have an experience to work. They could go and root up a piece of ginger, natural ginger.
Yeah.
And you give them a little recipe book with all you could do for ginger.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what has to happen sometimes, the thinking is that, oh, this involves too much hard work for us to do. But the linkage has to be done with tourism. So the tourist association has to have the list of all these small farms and what they could do and the experience they can give. And sometimes you might think, oh, what you talking about? This is too much. But tourists might want to go in the river and wash.
Imagine when you go inside it, and a lot of areas we have nice little waterway.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you have a woman there washing.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
little music playing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she washing, she clothes.
Yeah.
Tourists, even the men going and wash. The experience, they have never seen that in their life.
Yeah, river
They're
washing.
living in a cubicle in a big country. They never see people washing in a river. And women washing is a
enjoying
very
it.
romantic and tantalizing thing. They're washing and they're shaking and clothes and they're handballing. Shoop, shoop,
Yeah.
shoop, shoop. And you imagine tourists want the handball. Shoop, shoop, shoop.
Mr. Pierre, you sound like you researched that one. I wonder
No,
what.
but so you think I doesn't watch a woman when they washing at the handballing. Shoop, shoop, shoop. Some of them are calling to the clothes, they're washing the tete balling, ring dang pang, ring dang pang. The tete heaving up in the air, and because some of them have some nice, majestic boss that provide milk. You see, no, sometimes when you see a woman,
Mr. Pierre, the authority's gonna call us and complain.
no, they can't. When you see a remember, the boss is what give life. It give life.
Yeah.
Imagine a woman have 10 children. That boss give life. It suckle, provide,
it sustain
nourishment.
life.
Not only that, sometimes when things go in people's eyes long ago, they go by a woman who have milk in her breast to pour some milk in the eyes.
Okay.
In those days, we didn't a doctor. You pour a little milk in the eyes and they think you.
Okay.
So imagine you have a woman washing in the river.
So I learned in the culture then.
Yes, you see what has happened to us. We try to swallow the English book so much, and we have not succeeded. So in the process, we forget with twang, we forget with culture, we forget with dialect. So the English language we have is not romantic.
Yeah. So you
But
said.
imagine the farmer has his farm, and we talk about the ginger. You have a pine, you have a sheep, and then he invite the tourists, they could wash in the river. And he practically set it up when he have this thing going on. you have people washing in the river.
Yeah.
You know?
And it seems to me that we could do an overnight, a day on the farm, or a weekend on the farm,
When
or
you're
whatever.
getting ambitious now,
Yeah, because we could.
because they have a nice little hut.
Yeah, yeah. You have a nice little hut, and it sounds romantic
Of
and
course,
nice.
and magical.
Yeah, magical.
And because the farmer has his children, and the children is knowledgeable now in IT, they would be doing that aspect of it.
Yeah.
They would be advertising it on air, and new ideas would come up. Your daughter doing F&N. So she now is going to find out what things we could use ginger and pine. Already she have cane. Sometimes you have 9 different cane.
Yeah.
The tourists want to know how this cane red, how this one hard, how this one look like bamboo, this
Yeah.
one is crayfish cane, and then
Yeah.
you put ginger on the cane.
Yeah. And they
I
call
wonder
it.
if a number of the young people in Grenada ever suck cane when you rub ginger on it.
No, I've never done that, but
You never done that?
No, I'll certainly try it.
That's why them children them done so.
Yeah.
When you hear you go in the garden
Mm-hmm.
and you peel your cane and you take your fresh ginger and
Mhm.
you rub on the cane
Yeah.
and you suck that cane.
Yeah.
It's magical.
Yeah. I did something with ginger. I grew a whole lot of ginger on the bank of my land adjoining the road, and everybody laugh at me. They say, "Well, you're planting for people," and they were right. I never got one stool of ginger from that ginger.
Well, that might be charitable contribution to the village.
Yeah. It's
So
not,
nobody can say you ain't make charity.
it's not much of a village now. It's more like a hamlet.
You plant the ginger and the community say, this man don't have no use for the ginger.
Yeah.
I watch him good.
Yeah.
So they take it. It's particularly on Christmas time.
Yeah, I think it's the guys and them who kind of clear the road or the bushwork or whatever.
Oh, they just yeah.
Yeah, they just take it when they're clearing the road. Yeah.
But we want our farmers in Grenada to start to think.
Yeah.
Don't forget about United States and China and Japan.
Yeah.
They're not coming to help you.
Yeah.
Nigeria don't come into. We in Grenada here have to start to think and be creative.
So let me throw this in. There's something they call geographical location. And what they say is that certain soil has unique properties in it and it gives you a unique product. And that product cannot be mass produced because not everywhere has the same conditions or soil. So what you have is that uniqueness. Like for example, you're making guava jam, say in Dunfermline. I'm just higher up the road up there. And that flavor you get from that guava is unique to anywhere else in the Caribbean or anywhere else in terms of Grenada. So that geographical location that you live in probably has some unique properties. It probably has a unique soil, and it allows you that slightly different taste, that you may really like and you can't find anywhere else. Sometimes they say, oh, it's not the same as my mother make it. But it may well to do with the location that you come from and the properties that that location has. I know when Cane Co was producing their rum, they were big on geographical location because they say the cane will taste slightly different flavor depending on where they grow it, and they wanted to know where each cane came from. They wanted to give it a code so that they could trace it back in terms of its location as well. So that's something that we can do naturally because of our small farms,
When we have what it takes,
Yes.
the telephone
Mm-hmm.
is an extension, practically an extension of your brain, a research center, a institute.
Yeah,
And we have the children in school.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a much better position than us.
Yeah.
They're doing IT and TI and all kind of things.
Yeah.
So they have the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So when you combine the education that the children have
Mm-hmm.
with the old traditional culture and twang of the farmers, then you make money.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
convert that into the tourist market.
Yeah.
So we just use an example. There are a lot of examples we could use. And before the program done, we might introduce one or two more. But here you have this small farmer, under 5 acres of land. You have 2 acres of ginger. You have a few cane. You don't want much cane, but if you have all the different variety of cane, and you have them there. He has some pine in his land, and he have a couple sheep, not
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because the purpose of the sheep is to do the weeding, because the sheep would not eat the pine, and they would not necessarily eat the ginger, unless starvation. When we starve, we eat anything.
Yeah.
So you could have that. In addition to that, he have his nice little river past there. So he is encouraging during the tourist time to do washing. They're going, although they have washing machine in the house, they're going to wash clothes in the river.
Yeah.
And just the action of the washing of the clothes is magical.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes he could hire one of the beauty queens
Yeah.
to come and wash clothes. Afia,
Mr.
world recognized regional cricketer.
Okay.
So she come out there and wash clothes.
Okay. You
And
like
they go there, this is Afia. And they might have known Afia face already on the international
But Mr.
market.
Pierre, you really like this clothes washing
Oh
business,
yeah,
boy.
man, what happened to you?
Uh,
The most beautiful thing in the world is to see women washing clothes in the river.
Oh God! But you know the women and liberation. Some of them might come after you. You know.
But these liberal women can wash. We're talking about real women. Women have the clothes, they have the children. When you meet a woman like that, she say, "You didn't prepare no food for your man." She said, "No. 3 things a man must plant in his land. Cucumbers is the first thing a man plants in the land. Cane and watermelon. That man will never hungry."
Okay.
So when a man leave in the morning and go in the land, it's only lazy man that coming back and telling about the wife they want food.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have cucumbers. Even though you forget water, you have cucumber.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cane provides the energy you need, and you have water now. And if now that the farmer have this small portion of land, you get the children to be involved. Because your daughter that doing cookery in schools, now she could use whatever technique and presentation she learned in school to present it.
Yeah. And one of the things I think we've missed out on, Mr. Pierre, is we have a lot of natural teas. I know that used to be made. My grandmother was one. I mean, we didn't buy tea when I was growing up as a little boy. She would say, "Get that bush or get this bush." Sugar dish. I still love sugar dish to this day. A very beautiful tea.
Well, we could transfer that to another farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Because we give one farmer ginger, we give him pine, we give him cane, and we give him woman washing in the river. This one farmer. Let us go to another farmer that decide now, one of the Rastaman them, that decide they are mystics. And they could add the history of the Rastafarian movement. And they could have the big pictures in the hut. But here now, they have seasoning. They specialize in thyme and scythe and mint. And they have the sugar dish book. And they have a few sauce up tree there that they use the leaves for tea. And they have the lemongrass. And they have the man better man. And they have seed under leaf. They have another, I prefer the nice romantic name, but I forget. They say this one is stone breaker. It could solve problem with kidneys. And they have some zooty on the side. They say this one good for man prostrate. And while you have, by the time you're 40 years, about 60% of men have problem with the blessed assurance, the organ. You know, what used to be the sex appeal start to be the water spout.
Okay.
So by the time a man reach 40 years, but you don't have to believe me when I speak, you know. As a doctor, a nurse, your testosterone levels start to drop. So by the time you reach 40 years, you start to have problem with your sex organ. So then you have zooty. They say that go help shrink the prostate.
No, I've heard that.
So when a tourist
And the
entire farm like that.
Americans want zooty to be sent to
Yes,
them.
and then you have a Bourbon,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and you have what you call what is the name of the one that is very bitter? Zebra Peak.
Zebra
You have
pig.
your Zebra Peak, and you must have your rum. If you have your rum, you have your Zebra Peak, you have your craft worm, you have a piece of charcoal in it, and spice, because charcoal is said to remove contaminants. You
Uh-huh.
could ask any doctor.
Uh-huh.
Those rummers was nothing.
Yeah,
Remember,
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
when you see the rummer with a bottle, you say under the counter, you have craft worm in it.
Mm-hmm.
You have Zebra Peak in it.
Uh-huh.
You have a piece of charcoal. Sometimes you put a piece of salted beef in the rum. So it's nice to take a little rum now and then. And not for drinking constantly whole day, but every now and then you take a shot.
Yeah, yeah.
But you have these things on your farm.
Yeah.
So this man is like a farm where you have his seasoning and medicinal farms.
Yeah. And there's lots of areas, I even know one, where they used to do that. Do you remember a fella called Pilot, Franklin? He
Yes.
was in Cottage. And I think he went up to St.
Victoria.
Mark's. Victoria? Yeah. And, that kind of area, it's often very good in terms of tourism, being invited, cooking, and seeing all the natural things, how it grows, and they tend to be green because they have a high waterfall up on the hills up there. And it's those things that are coming to mind. Even as a Grenadian living in Grenada, these things have a strong appeal to me, yet alone to a tourist, These are like unique, this is the experience of the holidays, being able to spend a day or overnighting in places like that where, at the end of the day working on the farm, you could throw a blanket on the ground.
I think the biggest challenge is
Mm.
we have our land and we don't have initiative. Because remember, our forefathers, they wanted to control the factors of production. They had land and they had capital, but they lack initiative. So they send the best sons to go and study and best daughters to
Yeah.
get initiative to come back to help to control the factors of production. The children sell the land and they make deal with multinational corporations.
Or they marry a nice girl and stay
Yeah,
wherever
they
they
sell
went to
it.
school.
So we have our children in school.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to be bright. You don't have to have much sense. You don't want to speak English language good. Because how you speak is so romantic. Tourists like that too.
Yeah.
Your twang, your expression, your
Yeah.
gesticulation, how
Yeah.
you dress, unique.
Yeah.
And we spoke about it. We have two models, but we could introduce another one. Apiculture.
Yeah.
A farmer have bees,
Mm-hmm.
and apitourism is a big thing
Mm-hmm.
because a beekeeper,
Mm-hmm.
any country goes in, he want to see bees.
Mm-hmm.
So you have apiculture,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have your farm there.
Mm-hmm.
You could have farmers come in based upon the season and help you extract honey.
Yeah.
Then you have tasting honey. It's a big thing. And the people pay into that. Your
Yeah.
daughter go to school and she do what? FNN and CT and all that. So she making candles and soap. So the tourists have an experience where you this little daughter of yours making candle.
Yeah.
One involving apitherapy. Somebody come and take a bee sting. They say good for arthritis. Well, I don't know whether it's good for arthritis or not, but they say good, and if it's to make money, I agree with that. So you have your child giving them a bee sting, taking
Yeah.
a bee. Imagine you have a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
By the time the children finish speak about bee,
Mm-hmm.
they have people in stupor.
Yeah.
You might have a child drawing, he's an artist,
Yeah.
drawing about bee.
Yeah, but you could teach agricultural science right there over the dinner table.
I want to
because-
close on agriculture science in school. They're wasting time.
Yeah, because you have the pollination in terms of the
You have
bees.
pollination.
And then you could see, look at these crops. The average crop produces 20 pounds. We get in 40 pounds from this tree as a result of the pollination process of the bees on
But
our farm.
in addition to that, you will sit down and be in awe to
Yeah.
hear a little child
Mm-hmm.
describe about bees for you, to
Mm-hmm.
explain about bees for you.
Mm-hmm.
A little child, 9, 10 years,
Yeah.
and they grew up on the farm.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So the farmer now,
Mm-hmm.
his children in school who
Mm-hmm.
doing IT,
Mm-hmm.
they were able to set up the site or the social media page and
Mm-hmm.
provide the information and take pictures and etc.
Mm-hmm.
Pollen, $40 for a pound of pollen in Grenada.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody drawing out pollen and the people pollen is sold. You
Yeah.
cooking food, you sprinkle pollen on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then your child know the
Mhm.
nutritional value of
Mhm.
pollen. You
Yeah.
10-year-old rattling the
Mhm.
nutritional value of pollen.
Yeah, and making money for
Well,
themselves
that
as
is the
well.
reason this thing is a hobby. We
Yeah.
have this thing to make money.
Mhm.
How does the small farmer
Mhm.
get up on his blessed assurance
Uh-huh.
and start to make money from his land?
Yeah.
That is another one.
Mhm.
But what's about if the farmer have 5 acres of land and the farmer decide to fence the 5 acres of land?
Mhm.
And the farmer have crops in the land, but the
Mhm.
farmer decide to go yard fowl.
Yeah.
So the farmer have pigs.
Mhm.
One side of the pen, he have his pig.
Uh-huh.
He have his crop, he well cultivated. And then the
Uh-huh.
farmer have yard fowls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know, and the tourists get an opportunity to see the farmer's pigs.
Yeah.
And then the farmer's crop. The farmer have watermelon right round the 5 acres of land.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Planting different the short trees, and
Uh-huh.
a tourist could get an opportunity to go to cut a water. Remember, you charge him 10 or 20 US to come on the farm.
Yeah.
But he said, no, you could take a watermelon free, just go and cut one
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
show him how to cut it and etc.
Yeah.
You have to have somebody with them because they might cut their hand.
Yeah.
Next thing you want to go in hospital. You don't want this problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And don't give them too much a sharp knife, but you show them. And they
Yeah.
take picture with your children. They would love to do that
Mhm.
because,
Yeah.
come on, we have to wake up in our country.
Oh, you pick a little cocoa and you show them the process and you put it to dry and you have some finished cocoa there that you sell to them, you know.
But imagine your 5-year-old pick a cocoa and he suck the cocoa.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I
They
used
can't,
to,
they can't imagine the child sucking cocoa.
yeah, I used to suck cocoa as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we shank so. Cocoa is suck so. You suck
Yeah.
cocoa. So we
Yeah.
we have to change our attitude.
Mm-hmm.
We have to stop believing
Mm-hmm.
that or hoping to pray that somebody's going to come to help us.
Yeah.
Nobody ain't coming to help you. Not even the government of Grenada coming to help you. You, the farmer,
You have to
have to
help.
start to sit down,
You have to help
hold
yourself.
discussion.
Mhm.
And these children you sending in school, remember, those who pays the piper call the truth.
Uh-huh.
So while your child going to school, the child could do any subject, but you point out to the child, this land we have, they have to pay your bill.
Yeah.
You want
Yeah,
a
yeah.
new shoe?
Yeah.
Well, when we get money from the ginger,
Yeah.
you go buy the shoe.
Yes.
So one time you're teaching the child economics.
Mhm.
You want a gold ring? Well, no problem. At the end of the year, when we check the profit that we make from the farm, you could buy a gold ring.
Yeah. Yeah. So the whatever you want. So these 2 goats, you know, this is your money. You could
Die
decide
for
what.
artificial hair from China. When you sell the goat, you go buy your artificial hair from China. So automatically the children able to see
They can associate
the
value.
profitability, the value of land.
Yeah.
Our people don't seem to value land.
Yeah, the value of honey. But Mr. Pierre, you'll give me a bottle of honey. I ask you the second or third
Well, I'm
time now.
trying to wait to raise the price. What am I tell you, 125? When you have honey, 20 years old.
Mhm.
When you have honey, 20 years old. And that is another thing.
Mhm.
On the farm, the farmer could have honey by age.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This bottle is 25 years old.
Yeah.
This is $300 for the bottle.
Yeah.
But you don't have a problem. This one is $60.
Yeah, and depending on what kind of trees you have in the area where the bee is pollinating, etc., will give you a slightly different taste and variation in
Very
the honey.
color,
Yeah, yeah,
taste, etc.
uh-huh, yeah. So all of that is
We have to
important.
do better. We have to do better.
Yeah,
We have people in Grenada say I met a girl the last time. She told me she go and do journalism.
Okay.
So I say, well,
It's a noble
you in
profession.
Form 5. If you could write it in, why you don't follow the cricket club or the communities and write articles in them?
Mm-hmm.
I say, all you have to be a journalist is to write good.
Mm-hmm.
Write
Yeah.
good stories.
Yeah,
You don't have to go to university for 9 years to do journalism. You come out
No.
in school, you could write good. You start to write, and if people impressed with what you write, you improve it.
Yeah. I wonder if Shakespeare and those guys went to university or any big school or whatever.
Shakespeare and him just spend all this time wasting time.
They just write.
You want to write. And then you have the farm. We don't have agricultural writers in our country.
No,
You
no.
notice all these journalists we have, none of them interested in agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
None of them interested in agriculture.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe the farmers themselves,
Mhm.
you the farmers, have to want to make a difference.
Yeah.
Every year, you must see if you could make more money from them.
Mm-hmm.
So if the portion of land that you have, small farmers, 2 to 5 acres of land, and you made $20,000 from it last year, you want to make certain that you make more money from the land.
Yeah, yeah,
So next year, you sit down with the children in school and don't leave them out
yeah.
because you spending money on them.
Yeah, yeah. You
Don't
know,
leave them out.
yeah, Mr. Pierre, the model you're talking about, you know it already exists, but only to some sophisticated small farmers. I know there's a guy, I can't remember his name, but I think he teaches at SGU. He's a light-skinned fellow. I don't know if his name is Roberts or Kennedy something. And he has this business where he invites students and tourists to his place, and he cooks an oil dung for them.
So
And
you have Belmont Estate, you have Ramdani to a certain extent. They have not
yeah.
developed
No,
it
but
as
this guy's
good.
a small operation.
You have 1 or 2 beekeepers that experimenting with that.
Yeah.
But we need more.
Yeah, yeah.
We need more
But,
farmers.
but what I'm saying is that the model already exists, so we're not
Of course, we're not.
recreating.
No. We're not reinventing the wheel.
No, we're not. And those farmers who are already doing it, they can write articles in terms of the pitfalls and how to do it right.
Well, the farmer may not be able to. You don't bother him to write, but his daughter, his children in school,
Yeah.
and this is where I sometimes get upset because I always ask children in secondary school how much essays you wrote
Yeah.
for the month. Sometimes they don't write.
Yeah. Actually, this guy I'm thinking about, he's a good guy because he's been doing it for a while and he says he makes a lot of money from it.
There's
So
a lot of money to be made from tourism,
Mm-hmm.
but somehow or the other, whenever we speak about tourism, we take out ourselves
Yeah.
as if we are just innocent bystanders.
Yeah.
So we want to provoke this
We want to
discussion.
be included.
We want to sell the idea
Mm-hmm.
that it doesn't matter what part of the country you are. More rural you are, even more attractive you are.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're born in Bao and Chris in Mondo and you're living in Kumandi, you still could attract tourists. What's about crab farming? What's about maniku farming? What happens if we have a farmer that is rearing maniku on his farm? The man have 200-300 maniku rearing on his farm. Tourists would love to come to see that in real. So he has his farm and he grows things to feed the maniku with.
Yeah.
We have, where are the penny piece? You could have farmers in the higher belt and they plant Bwabande. Every time I speak about Bwabande, they say it bring blood. Some men go like that.
Yeah.
Tourists go like that too.
Yeah. I'm actually working with a group of Grenadians who are currently living in Brooklyn, and they are in the process of buying, I think it's a 36-acre small estate. And
In Grenada, 36 acres do small.
okay. Well, okay, so a 36 acres medium-sized estate.
They want to plant Bwabande.
No, they have a lot of bob on their estate, and they are hoping to do
Sell the bourbon.
secondary products to
They
New
call it
York.
aphrodisiac.
Yeah, they want to use the bourbon day and send it up to New York.
They say bourbon they bring blood.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problem of men, not enough blood.
Yeah, but also
Particularly post 40 years.
but also chocolate, cocoa. You know, the pure cocoa, it softens.
Chocolate.
It softens your artery.
It's a very romantic crop.
Yeah.
More people get wealthier, more they want chocolate.
Yeah.
We have not learned to use chocolate as gifts here.
Yeah.
So you give a woman a nice chocolate. You have a farmer that sells chocolate. You have a small bottle of honey from me. You have spice in it. And he sell it for $500 for his woman.
But one of the Forester boys from Paraclete, where we are, he was making chocolate. I must follow up with him and see what's going on.
Well, I even taste
with
chocolate.
him.
I taste, give me a taste in it.
He give you a taste. It tastes nice.
It tastes good.
Okay,
It tastes very good.
Very good. But I want to talk serious about chocolate, cocoa. Now, I've been
For us to talk serious about cocoa, we have to have the individual farmer.
Yeah.
Because we can't bother with government and this.
Yeah. So the individual farmer, small cocoa estate, 2-3 acres. Now, I've been sent some research which shows that if you drink 5 cups of cocoa a day,
blood.
Yeah, it goes to the parts where other things don't reach.
Yeah, it brings blood to where man wants it.
Yeah, it brings blood to where man wants it, but also it protects your artery as well. And prevents heart attacks.
Yeah.
So cocoa, we've moved to coffee drinking in the morning. I've just reverted back to cocoa. This morning I drank 2 cups of cocoa.
Well, you just had to drink 3 again.
Yeah. So I just have 3 again to drink for the day. And tonight, at least I know before I go to bed, I'm drinking at least 2 cups. So I don't know when I'm gonna drink this other one. The rum shop, you should ask them to
But I've
sell
always
cocoa.
been lobbying the rum shop to have a kettle.
Yeah.
So now you have chocolate, you could just put in a teacup and pour.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we want a little chocolate.
Yeah.
There is no food in the rum shop. We say that already.
Yeah,
but the same farmer that have this cocoa estate, why don't you? Some farmers could raise yard fowl in the fields, particularly if you're living on the farm. And people have to start to maybe bring your houses a little more inside the farm, fence the land, and the cocoa. You could have a few sheep because the sheep would not seriously damage the cocoa, and you would not have to pay for weeding. You would not have to use weedicide because the sheep is going to keep the grass down. And then you have the yard fowls. The yard fowls will eat the insects. So you have a nice ecosystem. That's why some of these people that involved in the environment, according to Donald Trump, is a hoax. They're just there to waste money. They're not genuine.
Yeah, you and Donald Trump and this hoax business.
I agree with Donald Trump on that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take you on with that one good day. You'll just look at the weather we've been having here and the tomato farmers complaining because that level of water killing the tomatoes.
Yeah, but when you visit them and you see their husbandry practice, you don't expect them to do well. But yes, small farmers leveraging the tourist market.
Yeah.
How can small farmers attract tourists to come in the land? How can they make money from the tourist market? And when we say small farmers, we're not looking for government help. We're not looking for bank help or company help. Once you have the land, ideas must come up.
Yeah.
And farmers could fence the land. It's good. You're a small farmer. You want to control pre-elasticity and you could fence your land easily and almost a biological fence. You can plant crops 2 feet up, 4 feet apart. Lucinia, Chicantera, Gloricida, some of them munga, and you get any munga to eat.
Yeah.
And then you fence the land. You could use a number, bamboo, galvanized, wire, plastic, the cement bags. The cement bags are the dump. You can use it. So today,
Yeah.
time flies, Joshua. You have the last one.
Okay. I think it's really important to embrace what we're saying on the program in terms of self-help. We have to help ourselves. We've been given the greatest gift that God could give us, and that's a brain. We have to use it to make our circumstances in life better. We have to be dependent, but dependent on ourselves. So everybody has something to contribute to our nation building. So go out there and do your part.
Thank you very much. And that was Studio Galaxy 473. And we encourage you to share our program. Share our program and subscribe to Studio Galaxy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Pierre, the honey.
You notice how I freeze again?